Welcome back for another episode of Girlfriends of a Certain Age. I am your co-host, Flesche.
I'm your other co-host, Jessica.
And today I'm so excited to have this conversation about how do we communicate and understand ourselves more at this stage of life. So I've been doing public speaking for years. I thought I had it figured out. Like I'm kind of an ambivert. I'm a little bit introverted, a little bit extroverted. And then that's how I am as a communicator out loud. And then I learned from my girl, Jessica Neighbor, that there is so much more to it. And no matter what your style or archetype of communication is, you can improve it. You can you can improve your strengths, you can diminish your weaknesses, and you can turn all of your communication style into a superpower. So I thought, let's dive into that today because we have Jessica, international voice coach, with us she is the other half of Girlfriends of a Certain Age. I'm like, we can't be sitting on our wisdom anymore. So girl, tell us why we need to know what our archetype is and how that can actually enhance our quality of life at this stage of life.
I think what's so fun about archetypes, specifically for women, even women of our age, is it gives us a framework to understand why we communicate the way we do, why some interactions go so well and feel like you're in the conversation flow, and why others feel a little sticky, a little hard. And again, we all have our types, right? If we were all one type, there would not be many interesting conversations. And sometimes we have, multiple hats depending on who we're around. But I realized through my work with women that there really are four archetypes that it comes down to. And I even created a little quiz that y'all ladies can take to get a sense of which you might fall into, and it's not to box you in, but to give you a framework, an understanding of how you communicate with others. Because honestly, how many of us really know at the end of the day how we're coming across and what our archetype is?
I think not many at all. So many of us are programmed too to look outside to see, am I okay? Am I talking too much? Am I talking too little? What feedback we get. And I think the other thing I learned from you is that so much of the feedback we got when we were really little is playing out in our lives as grown ass women. Like here I am, 52 years old, and I see the hearts flowing in. Thank you. When I was 3, when I was 4, the stuff that the grown-ups around me probably well enough intended, but the harm that it caused me, and at 52 years old, I'm still acting it out.
That's right. That's right. Because we know that a lot of our communication gets developed and shaped by our family of origin, by the region we grew up in, what the expectations were for children. Were you encouraged to speak? Were you encouraged not to? All those things play a role. So understanding what shaped you and then just again having this great framework to understand it. I am going ahead, Flesche, and sharing the link to this quiz. I know you took it a couple times, and I'm really excited to talk over with our girlfriends about your results. If you don't mind kind of being the guinea pig, because you make such a wonderful example for all of us.
I love doing it. So I actually took it twice. Um, and the second time I was just doing it because I knew that you had worked on it some more. And so I was like, I'm going to take it again. I got a different result the second time. So I definitely want to talk to you about that because I have some questions. So
Yeah.
the first time I took it, I was a fabulous facilitator. And I was like, yes, I am. I I am good at facilitating. I am good at, getting people going and talking and feeling included. The second time I took it, I was a mindful connector and I was like, well, hot damn. Yes, I am that too. So girl, please help me. Am I both? What's going on? How could I have 2 scores?
Absolutely. So, there's 6 questions and we ask you to just like answer with your first gut reaction for the questions. But depending on our mood, depending on the circumstances, our questions might change. It's a free quiz. Take it a few times and see. And You might be a fabulous facilitator in one group, and you might be more of a mindful connector in another group. And I think when I think of you, Flesche, you're both. So let me explain what each of those are so that our ladies understand the four archetypes. Our mindful connector is someone who works beautifully one to one, who really speaks from the heart, who is much more interested in deep connections than small talk, than just kind of like shooting the breeze. You want to get down to the good and nitty gritty. You are the person at the corner of the party who is having that heart to heart discussion. Maybe someone's crying, someone's breaking up the tissues. So if you can relate to that, you very well might be a mindful connector. Therapists, as I know you have training in, are oftentimes mindful connectors, coaches like myself, people who really enjoy that more like one-to-one setting. So if you're thinking, ooh, when I want to hang out with a girlfriend, am I the person who wants to get a big group together, or do I want to do those one-to-one dinners, lunches, hikes? If that's really like how you feel the most comfortable, then you might be that mindful connector. So when you hear that description, does that resonate with you, Felicia?
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. I love that because it is situational. In places where I'm super comfortable or when I'm the mentor, I'm the leader, I bring in certain qualities around facilitation. And then when I'm one on one, people say, I feel so seen by you, Flesche. I feel safe. I feel hopeful. So I can see how both those things, depending on the setting and the situation, and like how I'm perceiving myself too, or if I slept well that night, or I think there are a lot of things that go into it.
Right, exactly. And I do think of you so much as a mindful connector, but you also have a little bit of the other archetype, which is the fabulous facilitator. That is the person in your life those are the friends who want to connect you with someone. Oh, you need a new mechanic? Oh my God, I know the best person. Oh, you've got to try this new under eye serum. It is the best. Let me share a sample with you. Someone who just loves to share the joy. And I also really think you are that type. So again, you can be a little bit of a combo. You could take the test a few times. It's just 2 minutes, and then you can like see which one you're getting more of. Also, when you take the test, you get on an email list with me, and I'm here to connect with you. So if you're like, I don't know, I've got both results. What's going on here, Jessica? We can talk about why you might be a hybrid, because fabulous facilitators also often are coaches, are teachers. You're a little more comfortable to step into leadership, but maybe you volunteer, maybe you lead a certain group, as well as doing your one-to-one work. So I know that I also feel like I fit into both of those modes. And I would say that the challenge with being a fabulous facilitator is you love to hook everyone else up, but sometimes you forget to ask for the help yourself, right? Like you might feel much more comfortable suggesting things than asking for help and receiving it. If you're in a work setting, being a facilitator, then you may be, getting everyone to open up and leading prompts, but you kind of take yourself out of the equation. And so it's very easy to forget about our own needs. So that's the tricky part about the mindful connector. And the same thing excuse me, with the fabulous facilitator. And the same is true with the mindful connector, that when you're so heart to heart and when you're so adaptive and tuned in, to everyone else's needs, you can fall into possibly being a people pleaser because you're such a wonderful mind reader and you're so intuitive. And when you're like taking in someone else's energy, it's sometimes harder for us to hold up our own mirror and go, well, here's my opinion. Here's my thing. So it's very easy for us to bond, but sometimes it's hard for us to draw those boundaries that can sometimes be healthy for us. So
That
those are
makes
the
sense.
challenges. Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
It does. So can you just do a quick rundown of all four of the archetypes? Because we're leaving two out, right?
Absolutely. So the most kind of like on the introverted scale would be the insightful observer. These are our fabulous women who love to observe, who love to sit back in a group setting and just watch the interplay going on, right? You are observing, you are making mental notes. You may take a while to process a question and then answer in a very, very insightful way. So you're somebody who is going to want to research, want to take in a lot of data before you share an opinion. These are fabulous people. We need these people in our lives. Oftentimes, you're researchers, you're scientists, you're authors, you're writers. You're someone who really does their best work internally, being quiet. You like to run the metrics, run the data, and then come up with your own conclusions, right? So we know that if we're, in a family or in a workspace, those people are wonderful. However, you can get lost in your own internal world. So, getting you to speak up when you're in more of a group setting, getting you to share your opinion, even if it's like not 100% right just yet, is going to be something that we really want to encourage our insightful observers to do, right? So, on the introverted scale, that would be more introverted. And then after the insightful observer, we're moving into the mindful connector, which we talked about, and that's the person who loves to do the one-to-one work. And also an insightful observer who I like to use as like a public figure would be someone like Glennon Doyle, someone
Mm.
who feels deeply, shares her own experience from her very rich internal world. Okay, Glennon Doyle, really good example of that. A really good example of the mindful connector is someone more like a Michelle Obama or a Brene Brown. They like to talk, but they like to talk from the heart. They are not here for the small talk. They are not here for the chit chat, gossip. They want to get to the real deal stuff, right? So if you're nodding your head, ladies, and you're like, oh, I am a hell to the yes on that one, then that likely might be your archetype, your mindful connector. Then we have our fabulous facilitators. Someone who's well known who falls into this category is Oprah. Oprah wants to hook up everybody with her favorite things and her favorite gifts. This is like how she thrives. If you're someone who comes home after a party or a business venture and you feel like, oh my God, I just networked and made the best connections, then that might be your jam. That's your place, right? And keep in mind, Flesche, that with all of these, it's not like we're locked into only this because there are definitely situations where we're going to need to be able to shift into a different archetype if we need to. But how great to know what your default is so that when you're going in for a job interview or when you're on a date, frankly, like all of these things help us know how we like to operate in general. So the fabulous facilitators love to hook everyone else up, but sometimes we forget to hook ourselves up. Right? So that can be tricky. And then last but not least, we have our fearless leaders. These are the women who are the most outspoken. They tend to be the most extroverted, right? So here we are on the other end of our introverted to extroverted scale. They can be perceived as more aggressive. That's not always the case. Anna Wintour, who's stepping down from being the chief editor of Vogue, she is a great example of that, right? I don't know if you saw The Devil Wears Prada, but Meryl Streep portrayed her. I mean, this woman, she's smart. She's still very charismatic, but she is not afraid to say yes, to say no, and to make all of the executive decisions. The tricky part for fearless leaders is I think they carry a burden about feeling like they have to be the decider for everything. They get decider fatigue, right? They can fall into the trap of being overly controlling and doing everything themselves. So they need to learn how to delegate. They need to learn how to sit back and listen a bit more so they can take a cue from the insightful observers in their lives about how they can listen a little bit more. And the insightful observers can take a couple of notes from fearless leaders and observe what they're doing and then maybe try that on once in a while. So those are the four categories. Those are the strengths and those are the challenges and the, public figures that we think about.
That's so interesting. As you're talking, I think I was having a hot flash, so I had to go down a layer while you were talking. So I'm listening.
Oh my
Um,
God.
but
Girlfriends of
what
a
I
certain age, keeping it real. I love it.
That's right. That's all we got, right? Is each other and keeping it real and being our true selves, sweaty as and whatever else is going on. I'm just here for it. So thank
Well,
you.
and good for you for having your cute cami on underneath your sweater. Like, I think that we just need to normalize this on podcasts, in the business meetings, everywhere. Just like, I'm hot. I need to take this off,
I'm
literally.
hot. I'm wearing the least amount of clothing I can wear and still be presentable on Substack. Um, well, so I love that because what I hear is that this stage of life, I think, is such a good time for us to be more introspective. We need to be looking inside. Thank you for the hearts, ladies. We need to be looking more at ourselves and where am I not being my truest self? And I think getting the archetype invites this balance. Like if I've been too much of a people pleaser, which I have been for most of my life, but I seem to be like doing a good job of getting over, brushing that
Yeah.
off of me.
Yeah.
But because I needed to create some balance in that. And so if I am always talking and barreling through, I need to be more balanced. Maybe I need to sit back and shut the bleep up and observe more before I'm always, because I have a tendency to run my mouth and I do want to talk and be heard. But I could be more balanced with taking a page out of a more introverted sister's playbook or archetype. So that's the thing I hear. It's like this invitation for balance. And I think the hearts from the ladies are just kind of confirming that for us.
Well, absolutely. And you play such a vital role. Like, I like to think of a family unit, right? Like, we really want that observer who can sit back, because if everyone is talking, it's going to be utter chaos. But we also need someone who is able to really speak and to connect people, right? So in the family, there's often a fabulous facilitator or even a fearless leader. Like, someone needs to make the decision about where we're going to eat dinner. Someone needs to finally, book the reservations for the family trip, right? And sometimes if you're a solo person, you get to wear all those hats yourself.
Mm.
But all of these different facets of us we can use. So I will hear a lot of women saying that they want to step into leadership more, but that they feel a little stuck in their other roles. So this is the biggest theme, which isn't to say that there aren't some natural fearless leaders who need to work on the observing side as well. But a lot of women who are caretakers, who are people pleasers, it's like, how do I just step into being more assertive? And I love that you have that awareness of yourself. I am also extremely verbose. So, it's no wonder that I married someone who is a wonderful observer. We really balance each other out. And sometimes I just look at him and I think, oh God, you just sit there and make your own decisions up in your mind. Like, I've got to verbally process it with everyone I know. And just understanding that these are our MOs. This is how we operate, but that we can be inspired by one another. And at the same time, we don't want to get down on ourselves. Like, Flesche, your gifts are fantastic. It's why you make such a badass coach. It's why you're such an incredible healer. It's why you're a podcaster, because you are so, you have the gift of gab. So don't get down on yourself about what you are, but I love your awareness. And I don't hear you getting down, but like, I'm saying this for all the women listening. Don't get down on yourselves, but having the awareness of like, oh yeah, I do fall into this general archetype. How can I stretch myself? Especially if we feel stuck, right? You and I talk so much about midlife as a beautiful opportunity to reinvent yourself, to try something new. And I think oftentimes we're looking outside of ourselves, right? Like, where am I going to go travel next to? What crazy thing am I going to challenge myself to do? What if you challenge yourself to lead more? Or like Flesche and myself, what if you challenge yourself to sit back and listen more and observe more? That is like an internal adventure that is going to be so fascinating and wake up these other parts of yourself that maybe you didn't even know you had.
Yeah. I think that's how I felt after I took the quiz the first time. It was this feeling like, oh, I just got to know myself a little bit more. And I mean, you know me, self-help junkie, have been for decades. And, that's just who I am. But getting this, it opened up a whole new layer, it pulled a whole new layer of the onion off for me. And I thought it was really fascinating. So I definitely encourage everyone to go. It's a free quiz. So just go on and take it. Jessica put a lot of energy into it too. We might as well have some fun with it. And to learn more about ourselves is the beautiful part. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
And you know what's been fun? So many women have reported back and gone like, nailed it. Absolutely. Like, that's me. And then it's fun though, because then in your answers, I kind of give you a series of messages about how you operate, what are the great strengths you have, what are your challenges, so that you can start to explore how you communicate and how that can either help you or, hinder in different situations. So it's a conversation. It's not like a one and done. You take the quiz and then you're just sitting there with your answer going, what the heck do I do with this? Like, I want to coach you along. And then you're also always welcome to come over to Love Your Voice, which is my Substack for women in midlife, where we are talking about archetypes and communication styles and how to be social all the time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I put the link in our chat. I'm going to do it one more time just
And of course,
because,
if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the description, or if you're watching the replay on Substack, it's all right there below in the description. You can get it all immediately. So
yeah,
it's
I love
awesome.
it.
Jessica, thank you. Thank you for empowering us and giving us an opportunity to be more powerful and intentional in our lives at this stage. Because to me, that's our true life purpose. Over 50, it's really getting to know ourselves. It's forgiving ourselves for all the things we did in the past. And it's an opportunity to wipe the slate clean. And I think I really have a fresh start in so many ways. And you giving us that through our communication, how we use this vocal instrument has been really fascinating and so helpful to me personally. I mean, I'm very, I'm very fortunate to have so much, to get like so much coaching from you and support, but so are all the other women who get to take this quiz. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, it is so my pleasure. Thanks for opening up and thanks for being our model and our example for the other women who are listening to this, because this is how we do it, right? It's we want to keep it fun, we want to keep it very encouraging. We want to learn a little bit about ourselves and look around and think about who the other archetypes are around in our lives, just to give us more of a deeper understanding about why we do the things we do and why other people might do the things they do. And then it just feels like we can give ourselves all a bit more grace and a little more wiggle room just to, be busy doing the things that people do. Right. So, right back at you, girlfriend. Well, thanks. Thanks for asking me all about this quiz. Again, the link is here in the live chat and then it'll be in the, replays. And ladies, come and take it. It's fun. It's free. And we'll learn a little more about ourselves. Oh, girlfriend, this has been lovely. I hope you've gotten over your hot flash. How are you feeling over there?
A-okay. It's cool. And I got my, I might put the sweater back on in a few minutes because you know how that goes. It's like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold.
Hot,
It's
cold,
all
hot,
good. It's
cold,
all part of
hot.
the dance.
Yeah, it is seriously part of the dance. Oh my gosh. Well, good luck to you, honey. Good. Keep taking care of yourself. And to all the girlfriends, all my love. And until next time,
Bye.
bye.